Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to Apply. All right, so today I have Natalie Marquez Soriano on the line, and she's founder over at Soriano Coaching. Natalie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
So, Natalie, I know you were introduced to the show by Tony over at Mega Mix Expo, and I'm curious, are you going to be attending and are you going to be participating?
Yes, absolutely. I've actually been invited to this for the past few years, and it's always been a schedule conflict. So I am super excited that I get to be
Hold
there
on,
finally
so this is your first year then?
Yeah, my first time there.
Wow. It's my first too, so I'm not saying wow as in that's weird. It's my first time too, but I was just introduced to it last year as well, and I went out and I checked out the location and all that other good stuff, and I was like, oh man, Tony and his team, they're putting a lot of work in there, so I'd love to go out there and support. And for everybody listening that maybe hasn't been listening to the series, we've been covering the Mega Mix Expo, which takes place in Santa Anita Park in Arcadia, California. It's going to be March 12th through 13th. So there's going to be hundreds of booths there, vendors, and it's all business community and things from throughout Southern California. And I believe some people are flying in as well. So it should be a lot of fun. So that's just for some context there. So what drew you to the expo? Finally, like you knew about it, and I know you had schedule conflicts in the past, but this year, why was it like, all right, I'm going?
You know, I guess I got tired of missing out. I mean, it looks like a phenomenal event. I've had friends that have gone and colleagues, and then I know Tony personally, and he's just a wonderful human.
Oh,
so I don't want to miss out again.
That's what I'm talking about. You got to show up. Come on, coach, put me in the game. You got to show up, right?
Exactly.
So speaking of Soriano Coaching, like how did you get into that business? Like where did that begin for you?
Oh, man. It began with a prayer. It was an answer to a prayer. I was really going through some things in life, and I knew something else was out there for me, and I was looking for what's next. And I ended up being invited to a transformational event, which I then attended. It completely changed my life, and so I took it upon myself to study the material, become certified, get trained by the best. I've had some amazing mentors and coaches and trainers, and they really have poured into my life in such an impactful way that it's altered the way my family experiences life and just everything. So I said, this is a calling for me, and I get to do the same for others and impact people in that great way.
Now, you mentioned a transformational event. How are you using that word? I want to make sure that I'm clear. How are you using that word?
Yeah, well, the way I look at it is the transformational event. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things out there that say they're transformational, right? But it was a specific curriculum and a specific training that I did with a company called SLS, Successful Living Summit. And what we experienced there really transformed my perspective and the way my life and situations and people occurred for me. And that kind of speaks to where my coaching comes from as well, because when we coach a client, it's really like a profound partnership and an exploration, not about the problem or not about the surface level stuff or even the results, but really what's underneath that, what is hiding in your blind spots, that is actually a matter of perspective. And by transforming our perspective or how situations are occurring for us, we can then really alter our experience of life. And so that's what I mean when I say transform. It really is at the root and the heart of where we're coming from as people, not necessarily what it looks like on the outside, not even what I think, but where I'm coming from, what context, how do I operate, and how do I perceive, what lenses am I looking through, you know? So it's super powerful. Yeah.
Are you saying that when you went to that event, you kind of were transformed as well, and that kind of led you on the path? I just want to make sure that I'm getting the story right. Was that a piece of it, or was that one of the ingredients?
Yeah, nothing's guaranteed when you go to an event or training or read a book or have coaching. And so it wasn't guaranteed for
guaranteed.
me.
If you listen to Mission Matters podcast, you're going to be so successful and happy and all the other, everything else you want. So hit subscribe. Okay. Other than that, that's guaranteed. Go ahead.
Other than that, yeah, you know, I went in totally open and ready to learn, and I didn't even know what I was going for. But what I found there was them asking profound questions and really exploring with me and allowing me the space, creating the space for me to be able to explore things about myself. And what happened when I walked in there was I used to suffer from suicidal behaviors, depression, and a lot of anxiety and things like that. And I had experienced a moment of healing. And then about a year later is when I got invited to the training. And what I recognized through transformative coaching and questions and trainings was that I wasn't living. I was just surviving.
Mm.
And so when my perspective started to alter about how I saw myself, how I saw human beings, how I saw and experienced just circumstances and life, it altered even how I began to speak, how I began to think, the actions I started to take, the things that I started to create, and the way that I related to the world around me. And so that is absolutely transformational. I've never been the same since. And so it is a mission for me to serve and support and uplift and build up others and really illuminate, support them in illuminating maybe their blind spots and maybe some perspectives that have been limiting them. Yeah, specifically with business owners, leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries.
Mm-hmm. Was it like progression as you were going through this that you're like, wow, I want to help other people with this? Or was there like epiphany or like a moment, or like when did you know that you would then, okay, you'd been transformed to whatever that means specifically in your case, and now you're like, I want to help others with this? Like, how'd that happen?
Yeah, actually it was a moment, and it was before I had any breakthroughs in my own life. It was the moment I walked in. Yeah, I walked in the training and I saw the trainer walk up to the front of the room, and it was like, for me, I'm a woman of faith. So it was like I heard the voice of God say, that's what you're going to do. And I looked at the trainer, and she was a powerful, strong, beautiful, passionate woman who also loves helping people. And actually, I believe she'll be at the Mix Expo as well.
Cool. And does she know this story, by the way? Does she know this story?
She sure does. Yeah,
wow.
She sure does. Yeah. But, and then, just through giving back by serving as volunteer and by being a coordinator for some of these trainings, by helping lead leadership teams with the World Cup of Transformation. They offer a global event every summer called the World Cup of Transformation. So being a part of those teams, it's very fulfilling when you're able to connect with people, relate with them, but also support and serve them. And there's no better space than being in a space to be able to support and serve others.
And how long have you been in the space? I don't know if I asked you that. Yeah.
It's going about 10 years now, working in the context of coaching. And coaching is in trainings.
Wow. What do you think one of the most fulfilling things about you doing this work personally? Obviously, I know the people that you're working with are benefiting, or else you wouldn't be doing this for a decade, going on a decade or over. Like, what has been some of the benefit that you've found?
Well, I used to be afraid to travel. I used to be afraid of the ocean. And
wow.
My husband and I...
Are you from California then, or no, not from California?
I am born and raised in California.
And you wouldn't go to the ocean, like get in the ocean, or do you mean like
nope.
watch it? Like,
nope.
Wow.
Neither.
Okay.
Nothing. And we've been on cruises. We've been to other countries. We've been to the Philippines, Costa Rica. We've been to all over. And so being able to travel, being free from the fears that I once had has been the biggest benefit. And then, of course, being able to love and relate on a personal level way better than I was doing before. The possibilities that opened up for my relationships has been one of the biggest benefits. And then when working with clients, it still is personal because I get to see them achieve their personal goals. And, I had a client who was operating her business from her garage, and now she has a warehouse and a storefront. And to see her be able to accomplish that goal and the way her face lit up when she got her space, I mean, that is so fulfilling.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing.
Incredibly fulfilling.
And so looking at the clients that you work with, and you mentioned a business owner, like how does somebody know if they're ready for coaching or to go through a program that can lead to transformation? How do they know in your experience?
Yeah, I think what I've noticed is those who are open for the coaching are those who are humble, those who are ready to create what's next. And it's not necessarily someone who feels like there's a problem or they're stuck. Like I have a couple clients that are pretty successful in what they're doing, and they're saying, hey, what else can I do? Where can I take this? Who else can I serve? What am I missing? And they're just open for learning. Like even, myself and my clients, we're never going to say that we've arrived. And I heard John Maxwell say that once, never will I think I've arrived. So everyone has blind spots. Everyone has a next level, whatever that is for them, however that looks for them. So each person is very different. But I think if someone is creating something bigger than themselves, it's definitely time to get a coach. If you are ready to take your business or your life to the next level, it's time for a coach. If you've maxed out your capacity and you feel like you've made it and this is where it's at, like maybe it's time for a coach.
Very good. Well, Natalie, this has been great having you on the show, learning more about your background, how you got into coaching, how you're helping people on their transformational journeys as well. How do people follow up? Like, how do they connect with you and your team, and how do they follow up to learn more?
They could call me. They can text me, call me, or email me. I'm very personal. I love to talk to people and see where they're at, what they're up to, what matters to them. And that also, helps us to decide which coach is the best fit for them. They can call me or text me on my cell phone. It's 626-513-5677. I do have a website. It is under construction, but it's nataliesoriano.com. And again, the number is 626-513-5677. Or they can send me an email at coaching@nataliesoriano.com.
Fantastic. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely leave some of that information in the show notes so you can just head right on over and connect with Natalie. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're bringing you new content, new guests, new stories, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way in your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Natalie, appreciate you coming on the show and looking forward to meeting you in person and seeing you in person at Mega Mix Expo. Everybody go grab tickets. That's megamixexpo.com. It's the event in Arcadia, California, March 12th and 13th. Again, megamixexpo.com. Get your tickets and come out and see and say hi to me and Natalie. And Natalie, I look forward to, again, meeting you in person as well.
Thank you, Adam. Yes, I look forward to meeting you. Thank you.